Despite being one of the strongest comps in the game, KAISA has gone under the radar for quite some time. If you want to climb fast, I suggest you play this comp before it catches on. In this video, we're going over what to do in the early, middle, and late game, what units to hold items for transitions, what augments to look for, and how to position well. In the early game, you want to play for Dragonmancer 2, Guardian 2. These are the main core units. Although Guardian is best, you can also play Bruiser or Cavalier until you find Zac. Karma is a decent beginning item holder until you get KAISA. The great thing about this comp is your core units will be roughly the same throughout the entire game. You only need to keep adding units in. As you enter the mid game, you'll need Seraphine to make Lagoon 3. This is important as this trait gives a ton of econ, which you'll need for KAISA 3-star. At level 6, you should have Dragonmancer 4, Lagoon 3. Now you're missing Guardian 2, but this works because Lee Sin, Volibear, and Set can all play frontline. I recommend keeping Karma in until at least level 7 so you have multiple backliners doing damage. You want to slow roll at level 6 looking for KAISA 3-star. Additional units worth going for are Zac 3-star, Seraphine 3, Volibear 3, and Lee Sin 3. Now you can't afford all of them, so prioritize KAISA first. She's all that really matters. Once you hit KAISA 3-star, you can move on to level 7. This is where you should add in Rakan. He will give you Mystic 2, Guardian 2, and if you're playing Set, Ragewing 2. Once you reach the late game, you have two options. Either continue rolling at level 7 and 8 for 3-star units, or level up and add in more units to protect KAISA. This depends on how much you high rolled the other units. For the sake of consistency, however, we'll be going over a level 9 board. Here you can either play Shyvana or Terra. I prefer Shyvana because of the huge CC she provides, as well as playing the role of second carry. You also want to swap out your weakest Dragonmancer for Yasuo at this point. He's going to provide great CC, especially if you can get a blue buff onto him. If you choose to play Terra, just make sure you have KAISA, your main tank, and Yasuo on the protection hexes. The rest of the game will be decided by positioning, augments, and items. Now let's go over items for the comp. For your damage carry, you'll want to start on Karma or any carry that you can find and move into KAISA. Your items should be double crit items plus Hodge or blue buff. Whether you go with Hodge or blue buff will depend on your augment choices. I'll go over that more in the augment section, so stay tuned. Hodge is more optimal as it does provide you with extra crit damage. For tank items, you can start on any tank unit like Sejuani or Leona, and then move to Zac. The best items in the early game are Sunfire Cape and Protector's Vow. From there, either Bramble or Dragon's Claw depending on enemy comps. Warmogs does provide value if you have to slam it. I recommend staying away from Stoneplate here. You'll have way too many frontline units to get major value from it. Extra items that are powerful in this comp are Shojin, Redemption, or Archangel Staff on Seraphine, Blue Buff on Yasuo, Ionic Spark, and Hodge on Shyvana. These items aren't core, but provide huge value and are worth looking out for. Now we'll be going over the augments. For Cybernetics, Uplink is an S tier choice. If you get this augment, you definitely want to play Hodge over Blue Buff. It allows KAISA to keep permacasting, which racks up crazy damage and econ from the Lagoon trait. Cybernetic Shell is an overall good choice if you have a lot of items. The defense boost is nice, but there are better choices in this comp. Celestial Blessing is a great choice in this comp. It provides powerful healing for the whole team and does well with Hodge. Blue Battery is only worth it for the prismatic version. This gives a ton of value to KAISA and Lee Sin. You definitely want to play Hodge if you take this. Luden's Echo is a great choice for added damage. It's useful when the comp mostly relies on KAISA alone for damage. It's not an S tier pick, but definitely worth picking up. Exiles is a solid choice to add more tankiness to your entire board. It synergizes really well with Seraphine's ability, allowing you to stack shields. This also allows you to better survive assassin dives when you miss position. Gadget Expert is a good choice to shred magic resist. It also supplements KAISA's damage. Let Seraphine hold this item. Dragonmancer Crown allows you to go for Dragonmancer 6 and gives you a free Hodge. It's definitely worth taking, and you can even play Dragonmancer Shyvana in the late game. Now for Dragonmancer Crest and Heart, it's a solid choice which allows access to Dragonmancer 6, but without the free Hodge attached, it's not as important. If you have better options, take those instead. Now for Lagoon, Crown, Crest, and Heart augments, it's not worth it at all to take these. You only need 3 units for Lagoon 3, and they're all core units. You do not want to take any of these augments. Ascension is a decent choice to add more damage. It comes in especially clutch when you have a KAISA 3 as the last unit standing. She can burst out the enemy team before going down. This is a good choice. First Aid Kit provides a ton of survivability. Synergizing with Hodge on KAISA and Seraphine ultimates, take this if you've built items onto Seraphine. Jeweled Lotus is a great choice. It adds bonus damage, and you should pick this up if you've already built Archangel Staff or Giant Slayer. In this case, you won't need Jeweled Gauntlet. Axiom Arc is mega busted in this comp. Normally, it's a weak augment, but when played with KAISA, it actually provides outstanding value. It allows her to chain multiple spells back to back. If you get this, you definitely want to play Hodge over blue buff. Dragonmancer Conference is not a bad choice. It does provide infinite scaling, as you should be able to 3-star every single Dragonmancer unit. If you get this augment, you should consider playing Dragonmancer 6 and dropping splash traits. Now, there aren't too many things to look out for positioning wise, so let's go over that quickly. Offensively, you want to have Lee Sin on the opposite side of the enemy backline. The goal is to have Lee kick the enemy tanks into the backline for bonus splash damage. Since he's not the main carry, he won't be able to one-shot anyone, but the extra splash damage does help a lot. Defensively, the next thing to pay attention to is Zyra. Since she's gained popularity with Whispers and Seraphine comps, you'll run into her several times a game. Now, most of your units are melee units, so she won't always target KAISA's row. Even still, to protect your carry, make sure KAISA is the only unit on the back row when you're about to fight Zyra. Karma, Seraphine, and any other backliners that you use should be on the second last row to bait out the Zyra ultimate. As a side note, Karma also works really well as a bait unit for other carries. Carries like Syphen, Lux, Soam, Zoe, and Deja can all get their ultimate baited, leaving KAISA free to cast. If this guide helped you, leave a like and tell me in the comments how you play with this comp. It really helps the channel grow, and I'd love to know what you think. Until next time, I'm Swagadelic.